I am Bruce Jordan. I'm a former IHG corporate and I manage over $1 billion in assets and $300 million in revenue. While Michael Jordan is to basketball, Bruce Jordan is the same to the hotel industry. My main goal is to make your hotel more money. And this is another episode of Hotel Management Do's and Don'ts.
Hey, what's going on? You know who it is, and we're tuned into another episode of Hotel Management Do's and Don'ts, where we check out the hotels, look at their operations, see what they can do better, and see where they're doing the best at and some things that they can improve on. Today we are over here at the Hyatt Place in Daytona Beach, Florida. Man, this place has some things in here that I feel like they don't market well enough. There were some experiences that I had here that I would never forget. So this is what we found. Of course, like always, what I've been noticing is because of the pandemic and the hotels hasn't been staffed enough, like they haven't been fully staffed. Unfortunately, when you make cuts, some of the major things that needs to be handled and attended to gets cut as well. And the first people that usually gets cut is lower level staff members at the front desk, and then of course, maintenance and housekeeping, which is one of the two most important departments inside of the hotel as far as operations. So when you make those type of cuts, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see major issues with getting your flow back when it comes to those departments. These are some of the maintenance issues that we found. There was roof leaks. There was some touch-ups that just, probably just wasn't done or overlooked. Maintenance, again, is probably just worried about, fixing calls and so on and so forth. They're not able to do the PMs. There was some recalking that needed to be done. And, this just comes with the business and trying to adjust to what's going on. I really can't blame the hotel per se. It just comes with, what we got going on here. There was a couple of housekeeping issues as well. Very small and minute, nothing major, but just some of the things that, there was something like in the toilet, there was a speck of something in the toilet. When you clear a room, you want everything, especially everything visual, to look okay. There's no such thing as, oh, the guest won't see that. No, if you see it, the guest is going to see it. The guest is not dumb. The guest is not stupid. Most importantly, you don't know who that guest is going to be. That guest can be Bruce Jordan, the MJ of the hotel industry. So the last thing you want is someone like me coming inside of your hotel with a camera and showing all of this stuff. But I don't know if this hotel has went through a renovation recently. But man, it has a lot of promise. I really didn't care for the furniture. I'm not really for the plain solid wood looking type furniture. I'm not that type of person. I like something dark and chic and has a little pizzazz that's a little bit more eye catching. That's my style. But for each his own. Some people may like it, some people they don't. With design, it's like art. Some people see it as art and other people just see it as junk. So that's just the way it works. Now, this place had an incredible beach. We was inside of a room on the 8th floor with a beach view, and we just seen the most incredible full moon that I've never seen except on TV before. So I just had to take pictures of this and show you guys. And then of course we had seen the sunrise. The sunrise was just another incredible experience. I feel like they should take pictures of the full moon and the sunrise and put them on all of their OTA websites, put them on all of their Google sites, TripAdvisor, so people can see what they're really getting. It's not just a room, you're getting an experience. This place has a nice pool with a nice jacuzzi. You literally walk from the hotel to the pool to the beach. It's like everything is just right there. I found that to be incredible. It's difficult to maintain a property by the ocean because so much of the deposits that comes from the sea also comes onto the hotel. And then on top of that, people, I guess they don't clean their feet or whatever, so you see sand at the bottom of the pool. Of course, that's not the hotel's fault, but guests, you know, you just gotta probably put some more signage out. Please clean your feet before you get inside of the pool, you know, just so they know that, hey, we gotta make sure, you know, our feet is clean so that you don't see sand at the bottom of the pool. At first I thought it was dirt stains, and then I realized that, okay, this is just sand. So hey, what can you do? Sand on the beach, sand in the pool, same thing, same thing. What I was disappointed with was, like, they have a bar area by the pool, and I guess the occupancy wasn't enough to where they was actually able to open it. This place has a full restaurant, and they used to serve breakfast for the pandemic, but now I think it's just a quick grab and go bag. So you grab it, you go. They still got the coffee out front and everything for you, so that's good. But you know, I feel like that little tiki bar by the pool out front was the real moneymaker, and unfortunately they can't capitalize on it because of lower occupancy. But things is picking up back in this area. They was just sold out the whole weekend. So hey, if you got a beachfront property, you're probably doing better than, you know, 70% out there, you know, in the hotel industry. But hey, cool. What also is cool is that they have a bar area over here. But what I feel like where they miss the point and miss the bucket is that they didn't give free drinks to the guests. What I used to do is I would buy the lowest house wine that I could find for probably $3 or something like that, right? Buy a house wine for $3. Most F&B directors know that your first pour is supposed to recoup the cost that you paid for that bottle of wine. So your question may be, well, why would you give the wine away for free if you know that it's going to cost the hotel more money? Very simple. I will only give one drink per room. Do you really think a couple is going to come down together and watch their spouse drink and they don't get a drink? They're going to get a drink. So one drink is free. One glass of wine is free. Other drinks you got to pay for. It takes them right to the bar because now they got to pay. And what it cost me, $3. I'll ring up that ticket, close it out to S&P, sales and promo. You got to use your sales and promo budget. That's why it's there. So I feel like they're not driving enough traffic to the bar to entice people to go ahead and keep drinking, get some more drinks. But the prices was actually superb. I was kind of surprised because usually hotel prices at the bar are extremely high, but theirs was actually pretty reasonable, which is great for the guests. You know, the less it is, the more they buy. You don't have to worry about them running to the liquor store when they could just keep everything in-house. That's something I never understood, is that, you know, they would jack their prices up so high that people didn't want to buy. They'll just rather just go to the liquor store or they go out to eat and go out to drink. But this place, the restaurant here, is actually closed for 3 days. It's closed for 3 days. It's closed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I feel like that's something that could have been avoided. Me, myself personally, I probably would have tried to push some all-inclusive packages. Like I will push a meal for two inside of my rates for those particular days, for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's a kid crying in the background. He loved this place so much he doesn't want to leave. Now, one of the issues that I did have is that the Wi-Fi just didn't work that well. I'm not sure if it was a speed issue, like I guess they had to make some cuts and they had to cut down on the speed, or they just didn't have enough access points. Luxury hotels have an access point in every room. I don't know how they're able to do that, because those access points is like $300-400 each, you know, for the good ones, and for the cheap ones they're like $100. But you know, you're usually safe with, you know, maybe a gig or two. It depends the amount of the rooms that you have. If you have for this place, it has 145 rooms, so I'll probably feel more comfortable with a gig and maybe one access points for every 4 rooms due to the fact that everything is internal. Now I gotta commend one employee here. His name is Only, and I know why they call him Only, because so far from what I see, he's the only one here that has amazing ambition. This guy is a future GM in the making. He handled everything so perfectly. We were in line and he seen that there was someone behind us. So as he was checking us in, he made eye contact with that guest behind us to say, "Ma'am, thank you for patiently waiting. I'll be with you in 1 second." That's a pro move. So that was for Only, that was a pro move, and he has to get an Air Jordan. Now with housekeeping, there was some stains in the floor. There was something in the toilet, I don't know what it was. It was a little speck, and that's about it on that end. So first, let's start off with the operations score. For the most part, this place, I feel like it's really good on operations, but I understand what's going on as far as them being shorthanded, short staff. I think right now their staff is at 60% of what it used to be before the pandemic. So, and of course they have a pro and they have a future GM in their ranks only. So I'm going to have to give their operations a 8.0 for sure on that. Now for their breakfast, I like the fact that they're taking advantage of COVID to reduce their costs and control their costs, and just giving out breakfast bags with the usual in it. So for breakfast, I'm going to have to give them a 7.5. Good job. Okay. And for revenue, I'm going to have to give them a 7.0. This is why. One, the first thing I mentioned about the restaurant. Instead of closing the restaurant, they could have just set up packages built inside of their rate where they actually have dinner for two with the poolside rooms. So you increase the price of the poolside rooms and make it dinner for two, so it comes as a package. So you won't have to. So you get more flow coming down to your restaurant, and you don't have to worry about closing anything. That's a revenue 101. The second thing they could have did is they're still old school. I didn't get a text or a phone call when I first checked in with my room status. I don't recommend phone calls because nobody wants to be disturbed. I do recommend text messages for your protection and for the guest protection. Because if you send them a text saying, hey, is everything okay? They say everything is good. They can't come back later and say, hey, everything was awful. And then they still handing out sheets of paper, especially during the pandemic. Like, why are you handing out sheets of paper during the pandemic? You want less things that people could touch. This sheet of paper could have been text to a guest. This way you're not worried about running out of copy paper. You're not worried about your copy machine lease, going overboard, and you have to pay that ridiculous surcharge that those copy machine companies charge for having, making too many copies. Forget all of that. Send it to them in a text message. Everything's electronic. This is the new age. Everything's electronic. Adapt. Don't conform and go back to old school. Old school, even though old school always works, old school ain't cheap. There's a reason why they don't do that. There's a reason why they don't hand out physical keys anymore, because old school ain't cheap. Ain't nobody trying to replace no physical keys. They replace plastic keys. I do like their locks. I feel like the locks that they have, they actually don't need to have the key. Like those locks you can actually open with your cell phone. So those are just some of the things that I feel like they're missing a buck on. But these are things that, hey, trial and error, we approve them as we go along, and then we go to the next one. So other than that, they did an amazing job. I like this place. I'm definitely going to come back again just to see that full moon. I got to look at that full moon calendar. They need a full moon rate, like a full moon special, just for people to come out here and watch the full moon. And of course, what I loved was how they're COVID safe. If you take a look, they have the hand sanitizer machines all around the place. And was really crazy. Their AC unit isn't a P-TEC unit. The AC unit is like a full unit. What I like about it is that most central ACs, the airflow comes from the inside, which isn't very safe during COVID. That's why I was always questioning, the validity of COVID, because they have people wearing masks, but they're not telling anybody to change their air filters for an airborne disease that's just circulating throughout your whole house. It made no sense to me. But here, the airflow is coming from the outside in, so you're just not recirculating the same old air that's inside the room. So as far as COVID, this place gets a A+ on my list. Gotta come check it out. Hyatt Place down here at Daytona Beach, and you know what time it is. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Hotel Do's and Don'ts, and we'll be seeing you soon, making your revenues rise up. Once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave some comments. I want to know some of the things that you guys are doing. I want to know some of the things that you guys have as far as ideas dealing with S&P and restaurants and what works for you. Leave some comments down below, and we'll talk to you soon.